Following our lead. Join us at Bayes University and invest in your future today.
Bayes University is the institution that you will get the best value for money education in Nigeria.
Bayes University. Learn to live.
Global TV News Express: Federal government rejects the foreign interference, investigate the protest violence. Chief of Defense Staff urges the West African defense chiefs to uphold democratic values. In business, Expo to deepen the China-Nigeria trade ties. Our import DOT waiver on rice orders begins next week, says federal government. In sports, ex-Nigerian Olympian wins silver for US amid Nigeria's struggle for medal. Welcome to all the viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Express here on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I'm Edikan Michael. I'd like to remind you that Global Television is on DSTV channel 265 and Star Times channel 276. And now the details of the news. The Federal Capital Territory has witnessed a surge in vehicular movement on the 7th day of the nationwide protests, indicating a gradual return to normalcy. A correspondent who monitored the situation now tells us more. We're back to give that insight on the 7th day of the national protests. And now the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Tuga, has reiterated Nigeria's stance against the foreign interference in its domestic affairs. The Toga Omavi is known at the briefing of the members of the diplomatic corps on the program and policies of the federal government in Abuja, however, stressed the importance of the international relationships. He spoke against the backdrop of the nationwide End Bad Governance Nigeria protests, which commenced on Thursday, August 1st, in response to the hardship experienced by the citizens in their country. Paul Ibey, media head to the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, has berated the presidency over its reactions to Atiku's statement on the use of lethal force. Ibey said the recent admission by the military to mistakenly killing of a 16-year-old boy in Zaria, Kaduna State, was exactly what his principal had alluded to in his statement. Speaking against the backdrop of the ongoing End-Bad Governance protests across the country and effort by the security agencies to stop the protests, especially in areas where the situation has turned violent, Atiku said that service chiefs could be held accountable even after leaving office. The presidency has told the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar that the right of assembly and the freedom of expression is guaranteed to citizens in the constitutions are not absolute. In a statement, the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, while reacting to a post Atiku made on X, said the right of citizens can be abridged in the interest of public peace. Atiku had in the post cautioned the security agencies against using lethal force against the peaceful civilian protesters who are demonstrating against bad governance and the hardship in the country. The media office of the immediate past governor of Kogi State, Alhaji Yahaya Bello, has refuted the claim in certain quarters that he is one of the sponsors of the ongoing protests across the country. A statement issued and signed by Michael O'Hara stated that the claim was part of the grand plans by some enemies of the former governor to frame him. The statement described the claim as reckless, irresponsible, and malicious, adding that the former governor remained a patriot who had devoted his time, resources and energy to build a united and prosperous Nigeria. And now the Northern Youth Assembly has kicked against calls for the relocation of NCC ICT Park from Kano to Kebbi, secured to attack on the facility by hoodlums during the nationwide protests. A statement by the Arewa Youth Assembly signed by Dr. Aliyu Mohammed, the president, and Dr. Aviz Agabra, the secretary, dismissed the purported move as a calculated deception meant to mislead the good people of Kebbi State. The statement by the Pan-Arewa Regional Assembly stressed that while they acknowledge the call for the increased investment in the Kebbi State as valid and a welcome development, it is, however, crucial to consider the several factors before thinking on some significant project undertaken. The Chief of Defense Staff General Christopher Musa says the change of government by the military in West African countries has had unintended consequences and threatened their democratic values in the region. Musa added that the threats of a military takeover of the government must be destroyed, adding that it has negated the core responsibilities of the military profession. The CDS spoke during a meeting with the West African defense chiefs in Abuja. Musa stated that in democratic countries, the military must uphold the democratic values in line with their constitutions. Now, the Nigerian army says a soldier who killed a teenager protester in Zaria, Kaduna State, has been arrested. It was reported earlier that one of the soldiers on patrol in Samaru, Zaria, gunned down the victim, Ismail Mohammed, who was a secondary school leaver. Samaru community is a host to hundreds of staff and students of the Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. It was gathered that the Mohammed was shot dead at his residence at the Sakin Power Street. The police in Rivers says criminal elements have hijacked the End Bad Governance protest in the state and target the motorists and businesses. At the SP Grace Iringe Koko, the command spokesperson who made these known in Port Harcourt, expressed the concern over the situations, having that the measures are being implemented to maintain the law and order in the state. Away from that, Governor Abdullahi Sule of the Nasarawa has reaffirmed his administration's commitment to paying the 70,000 naira minimum wage recently approved by President Bola Tinubu to civil servants in the state. Peter Hemba, the senior special assistant to the governor on public affairs, started these in Lafayette, the state capital, during a courtesy visit to the Nigerian Union of Journalists, a correspondence chapel at the Correspondence Chapel of Nasarawa State. He said the payment of the new minimum wage to civil servants will not only improve their welfare, but also boost their productivity in the state. The police command in Jigawa says it has arrested 82 additional suspects of looting and vandalism of public property during the nationwide protests. The command spokesperson, DSP Lawan Shiusu, said in a statement in Dosa that the suspects were arrested on Saturday and Monday. The command also listed items recovered from the 212 suspects, including 203 bags of fertilizer, 50 motorcycles, 3 tricycles, 12 bicycles, 9 chairs, 52 cartons of mosquito net, 2 bags, and office furniture. The federal government says plans are on the way for the construction of the Nigerian Creative City and a one-stop hub for the talent development and youth empowerment. The Minister of Health, Culture and Creative Economy, Hannatu Musa, said this in an interview with the news agency of Nigeria in Abuja. Musa says the project is part of an initiative conceived by the ministry to provide a platform to analyze the creative opportunities across the country for economic gains. The federal government has announced that the guidelines for the suspension of custom duty and taxes on imported food items are to commence next week. In July, the federal government had approved the 150-day duty-free window to allow the importation of maize, the each brown, rice, and wheat as part of the measures to combat the rising food inflation across the country. The initiative was based on the implementation of the Presidential Accelerated and Civilization Advancement Plan. Speaking at the meeting of the heads of security agencies in Abuja, the Comptroller General of Customs, Bashir Adeniyi, said the implementation of the policy would commence once the guidelines are ready. And now to Plateau, as Barrister Caleb Mufang, the governor has revealed the 24-hour curfew imposed on Jos Bokuru in Metropolis. The 24-hour curfew, which took effect on Monday, August 2nd, has now been relaxed to between 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. with effect immediately. This was announced in a statement signed by the Director of Press and Public Affairs to the Governor Mufang. With Nigerians residing in America under the aegis of the Nigerians in diaspora organizations, America have called on the National Assembly to ensure that the ongoing constitutional amendments include the provisions of diaspora voting. In a statement signed by the chairman, Bukola Aloya, and Secretary Uche Ezekwe, the organization praised the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission for successfully hosting the National Diaspora Day 2024 and the second edition of the diaspora. The statement expressed the diaspora's the community's engagement to see the realization of diaspora voting and commended the Nigerian parliamentary leaders for their commitment towards this goal. Now, no fewer than 4,877 victims of human trafficking from the country have voluntarily returned to their country since 2017. According to a report by the International Organization for Migration, the victims returned to Nigeria under the Assisted Voluntary Return and the Reintegration Program, which with women and girls constituting nearly 88% of the returnees, while the men accounted for 13%. The data show that most victims fall within the age bracket of 18 to 39 years, with those aged 18 to 25 being particularly susceptible to recruitment by traffickers. Within the first quarter of the 2024 alone, they said that it facilitated the return of 167 victims to the country, 81% of whom were female. Now, medical doctors have commenced an independent strike in Ogun State over the unresolved issues concerning their allowances. It was reported that the industrial action is hinged on the pay disparity between the federal and state medical workers. The chairman of the Nigerian Medical Association, Dr. Kunle Ashimi, confirmed the commencement of the strike at a press conference in Abeokuta. According to him, the core of the doctors' grievances lies in the reviewed consolidated medical salary structure, which they believe should be implemented to stem the exodus of medical professionals from the state. You're watching News Express coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on DSTV, channel 265 and StarTimes, channel 276. Kindly follow us on all social media platforms using our Global TV NG and other handles are shown on the screen. When News Express returns, federal government spends $600 million on fuel importation monthly, says the Minister, Edun. To stay with us, we'll bring you these and more stories right after this break. You're still watching News Express here on Global Television. Let's now take the report of the 7th day of the nationwide protest monitored by Global Television. We'll bring you that shortly. And now to business, the organizers of the China-Nigeria Expo have said it will strengthen the trade ties between China and Nigeria. The Expo, which is scheduled for November 5th to 8th in Lagos, is said to be the largest gatherings of Chinese manufacturers in the country and the West Africa region. According to a statement from the organizers, Nigeria is China's second largest trading partner in Africa, and China is the country's largest source of import. Chinese customs data show that the bilateral trade volume between China and Nigeria reached the $23.9 billion $9 billion in 2022, with China's export to Nigeria amounting to $22.3 billion, and import from Nigeria's totaling the $1.6 billion. The Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of Economy, Wale Edun, has revealed that the country currently spends $600 million on fuel importation monthly. He said that the high import bill is due to neighboring countries up to Central Africa benefiting from the country's fuel import. Edun explained that the situation was the reason President Bola Tinubu removed the fuel subsidy, as the country does not know the exact amount of fuel consumed internally. Now, the Nigerian army said its troops have destroyed several illegal refining sites in Rivers and Bayelsa states, respectively. It said the destruction was done during an operation by troops of the Land Component, Joint Task Force South-South Operation Delta Safe, and the acting Deputy Director of the 6th Division Army Public Relations, Jonah, disclosed these in a statement issued in Port Harcourt. Well, from that, the federal government, in collaboration with the International Cotton Advisory Committee, has begun the recertification of Nigeria's cotton industry. It targeted to create over 1.4 million jobs annually in the cotton textile sector. All the focus is to develop key components of the cotton value chain and comprising farming, weaving, gardening, and linking of cotton, and all in line with the industrialization drive of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. Eshadima urged the stakeholders to come up with a roadmap for the revitalization of the cotton textile sector in the country, noting that it's time to work more and talk less. Out to the foreign scene, thousands of UK riot police stood ready to deal with more potential outbreaks of violence, which erupted more than a week ago after 3 children were murdered. The far-right groups have planned the demonstrations in more than 30 locations, with immigration lawyers and building hosting asylum seekers set to be the primary target. The government has said that 6,000 specialist police are being redirected to deal with England's worst disorder in over a decade, which has seen hundreds arrested and more than 100 charged. On sport news, world champion Tobi Amusan qualified for the 100-meter hurdle semi-finals in the ongoing 2024 Olympics in Paris. Amusan led the pack of 8 athletes with 12.49 seconds, followed by America's Alicia Johnson with 12.61, and Jamaica's Jenny Brown qualified with 12.84 seconds. Still on sports, Nigeria's Favour Ofili concluded a 200-meter campaign at the Paris Olympic Games with a 6th-place finish, crossing the line in 22.24 seconds. American Gabby Thomas claimed the gold medal with a time of 21.83 seconds, edging out Julia Alfred, who had earlier secured the 100 meters double sprint gold. Ofili's performance followed a remarkable semi-final run where she finished second with a season-best time of the 22.05 seconds, fueling the hopes that she might emulate the feat of Nigerian legend Mary Oyali, the only Nigerian to have won the medal in a 200-meter event at the Olympics. Still on sport, former Nigerian hammer thrower has won an Olympic medal for the United States in the ongoing 33rd Paris Olympic Games in France. A 28-year-old drew a season's best of 75.48 meters to win a silver for adopted country. She finished behind Canada's Camryn Rodgers, who threw the 76.79 meters to win gold, while China's Ji picked the bronze with a throw of 74.27 meters. And that's the package. News Express coming to live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on DSTV, channel 365, and Star Times, channel 276. Kindly follow us on all social media platforms using @Global TV NG and all the handles now shown on the screen. I'm Medika Mike. Thanks for watching and stay with us. See you again.